Behind me here is a beautiful hotel that is currently being renovated. It originally opened in 1851 in this style, but there's been a hotel on this side since the 17th century. I bet they're still waiting for the morning tea. Yes, but on a serious note, it is now being, as I say, renovated, put back to its former glory. The George Hotel, though, has a lot of history to it. Lots of famous people have stayed there, including me. Yes. What do you mean, you, Neil? Yes, me. I've stayed. In fact, I have to tell you, I was a waiter there for a short while, and I learned a lot actually at the George Hotel, because you realised when you saw really rich people how they would behave. And more importantly, I think what's interesting when you see them is whether you would behave the same if they treated you the same. Do you know what I'm saying? But of course, you also saw a lot of celebrities, aristocrats, and really that was the start of actually mixing in, shall we say, different circles, seeing how rich people did make their money. But more importantly, has another history attached. That is, of course, the home of rugby league. The hotel has a great bit of rich sporting history too. Way back in 1895, it was the home or the birthplace of rugby league. And they are planning at some point, hopefully, to bring a museum back to this hotel to celebrate that fact. I think it's a really clever idea, because I think where anything ever starts, it really should remain in the same place for other generations to discover it. As I say, I must tell you, in this particular hotel here, in the bar that you can't really see now, but I once saw sat in a very sort of corner just taking notes, none other than the celebrated writer Alan Bennett. Back as ever though to your big breaking royal story of the day, and this all centres once again of course on the Waring brothers that are William and Harry. And as we now know, Meghan and Harry decided to pop along to Windsor Castle. Some say unannounced, unsurprised. No, you're never really unannounced, let me tell you. You do have to formally request an audience with Her Majesty the Queen. Once that request has been granted, yes, you do get an audience with Her Majesty the Queen. But what happened to William and Catherine? Did they not wish to re-meet at the summit, which took place obviously in Windsor? Well, what we can tell you is this, that it was hinted that William and Catherine may attend. Now, as you know, they are now currently on holiday in the Alps, taking a much needed break after a very busy royal period. This is their Easter holidays, of course, with their children, and that's what they wish to do. But more importantly, did they not wish to see Harry and Meghan? That's the big speculation over here. Well, the bigger problem is this, as we told you in a previous interview, you know, Catherine's really struggling with really what has gone over the last 18 months. It's very difficult for her because she's obviously had to step up and do a considerable fair amount of work, which she hadn't planned on, of course, when they first had their 3 young children. And as any busy working mum will know, it's not easy. But for the sake of William, she's very much trying to put a lot of that behind her and move forward. But it was Harry himself who decided at the very last minute that they could in fact detour to make a visit to see Her Majesty the Queen. She did put that request in originally, whatever you're reading, and from that then they decided yes, they could. No one turns the Queen down, as you can imagine. But for William and Harry, Catherine and Meghan, is there still a big gulf between them? Well, according to very good sources, that does remain and will remain for some considerable time to come. There are no plans, of course, when Catherine and William go over on their American tour to visit Meghan and Harry in California. Apparently, the schedule wouldn't allow. Of course, all these things can change at the last minute, but in the case of William and Catherine, they have a very detailed security outfit, as we've seen detailed, in parts at least, from Harry and Meghan, who wish to keep their security detail very private from the courts. So for now, let me tell you, are Harry and Meghan, William and Catherine the best of buddies? Seemingly not. Neil Sean in the very heart of Huddersfield.